let's get to the Eagles beating the Steelers 27-13. Sorry, Uncle Manny. And Toddy, you got to fill me in. What are you doing with your hands right now? For the audio-only listeners, it looks like you're fanning the screen.
Kev knows what I'm doing.
This is what we do in Philly, baby. This is what we do. I don't know what it is, but, Larry Legend.
That's what Cooper DeJean. He be doing that shit all the time.
Nah, he's from Philly now. Cooper DeJean. DeJean is doing this thing. Kevin. So, no, that's just what he does. And now every time we do anything, everyone just goes like this. So,
got it. Yeah, for the audio-only listeners, Toddy's basically just fanning the screen, and he's doing the Cooper DeJean. But the Eagles beat the Steelers 20.
Though, Shaun, before we go, I would prefer to go last because some people on this podcast had a lot of things to say. We barely beat the Panthers. So I would love to get their feedback. I wish Cass was here because I was waiting for Cass. I had written down what Cass said because he was going hard. So
well, I'm glad that you filed that request, Kevin, because I was going to go to you first, but instead I'll start just by giving my brief thoughts. Then we'll throw it to Toddy, and then Kevin, you can close us out with this game. But the Eagles, they proved to me in this game that they are, if not the best team in the NFL, a top 3 team in the NFL. And at least at this point, I think they've proven that they're the best team in the NFC because I am a fan of the Lions. I want to see the Lions do well just because when I see the Lions, I think of myself as a Sacramento Kings fan. And Kevin, I'm sure you can relate to that too. But with your team going head-to-head with the Lions, it's fuck them right now, and I totally get that. For the 49ers being out of the race and me being an Eagles hater, like I want to root for the Lions, but they are just falling apart. It started with their defense. Now they have David Montgomery, one half of their dynamic duo for the rest of the year. And Sonic and Knuckles are broken up for the rest of the year. It's very sad. The Lions are falling apart. And so with that factored in, but also with the fact that the Eagles are just elite right now, the Eagles have proven that they're the best team in the NFC. And arguably, they're a top 3 team in the NFL. It's just a matter of, are the Chiefs still better? Are the Bills better? And so that's why I would say for sure the Eagles are a top 3 team, and that's what they proved with this game and this win. Because as I said in previous weeks, I wasn't a believer in the Steelers for a long time, but the Steelers, they've proven that they're legit. They are a real deal playoff team this year. And for the Eagles to handle them in this manner and win by 2 touchdowns, that proved to me just that the Eagles are in that upper echelon of the top 3 in the NFL, top team in the NFC. But Toddy, what was your reaction to the Eagles beating the Steelers 27-13?
I kind of expected the Eagles to win this game. I thought the Steelers were dealing with injuries pre-game. George Pickens wasn't playing. I think they had some injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Eagles were at home. So I kind of just assumed the Eagles would win. They're favored by 5.5. I ended up taking them on the spread. And to Kevin's knowledge, and I think the rest of the group chat's knowledge, I had a great weekend. But Mako's first Christmas, so he's gonna have the best Christmas. So
Santa's gonna be real this year. He's gonna be like, I fuck with Santa, Dad. He gotta come back next year.
Toddy, do you want to before you continue? Do you want to share any details of the hit that you had?
Do you? Are you able to post it, Shaun?
I could. I could actually. Yeah, so I will. I'll do the. So give us your thoughts on the Eagles, and then before we pass it off to Kevin, I'll put it on the screen.
Stats for politics.
Brother,
I mean, as far as the game goes, this was the game. The AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts are still friends, guys. Like we're still good over here on this side. I'm going to throw you the ball. Like let's just calm down, everybody. AJ was getting the ball early and often. I think he scored.
Is that what you guys wanted? That's early what you guys wanted, right?
He scored, right, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
He did score. And then Devonta Smith scored. And, Kev, every time the Eagles score, he sends me a Snapchat. And I didn't watch him because I fell asleep during the game. So I wasn't – usually I'm up and I'm watching. So I didn't watch – I forgot to watch him until, like, today. So I saw all of the Snapchats of him. You thought we couldn't throw? We couldn't do this? You know what, man? Fly, Eagles, fly. Every time they score, he just says fly, Eagles, fly. So I went through 3-4 Snapchats of just him recording himself. And I thought that A.J. Brown showed us dominance in this game. I thought the corners for the Steelers would have shown up a little bit better than usual, but I feel like they kind of just ran into a wall, pissed off A.J. Brown, who didn't get the ball last week. And the Eagles look really good. Their defense looks really good. Cooper DeJean, as Kev likes to call him. He's been balling out. Quinyon Mitchell's been a stud, arguably the defensive player of the year, rookie defensive player of the year. I'm trying to think I think the other guy they're thinking about giving it to
Jaden Verse. Or
I think it's just because he has a bunch of sacks.
Yeah, Quinyon got
like
the ball, all those picks, he'd have like 4 or 5. He just got butterfingers.
That, and I think Quinyon, they don't really try and test him. So it's like his stats won't show it that he's not, he doesn't have the interceptions, blah, blah, blah. They're not even trying to throw the ball to the side anymore. So a year ago, this Eagles defense, the secondary was one of the worst parts of this defense, and now it's one of their strengths. And there's a guy by the name of Jalen Carter who's on the D-line. He's been rushing the passer like a man possessed. So, I mean, my only thing is the Jalen Carter Sirianni thing on the sideline. I don't really know what happened there. It was just, I think he like punched somebody. I think he punched somebody, and then Sirianni tried to say some shit about him, and Jalen Carter was like, "What?" And then so like that was like a whole thing. But other than that, it was just kind of a shit kicking, and the Steelers really didn't stand a chance. And TJ Watt got hurt in this game, but I think he's going to be all right to play. He has I think he has an ankle sprain if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Steelers, I still think they're a good team. I just think the Eagles are kind of just on a run right now, and it's like, okay, they're probably the best team in the NFC. And that's kind of what it's been looking like. And Saquon didn't even go off in this game, and they still won by double digits. So,
yeah, exactly.
Eagles, man. Tough team to look out for.
Yeah, the most surprising thing about this game to me was the fact that Saquon didn't have to go off for them to win in this fashion, and the fact that the Eagles showed, yeah, we still have a versatile offense. Jalen can sling it just as much as we can rely on him running it, him giving it to Saquon, so on and so forth. And Toddy, I'm going to move myself to the bottom of the screen because I have the ticket ready to go. And so I'm going to end up getting covered up. Maybe if you want to lean to your right, you could do like a little display of, okay, here's game 1, here's game 2. But so here's the official ticket. And now that it's on the screen, I think I'm going to crop it and re-upload it. But if you could start the discussion about it.
We got Bills money line on there. We have Denver -4.5, Eagles -5.5, Tampa Bay money line. That was kind of it. We'll get into all these games later. Green Bay, that was the last game on the ticket, and I was giving Kev updates on what the cash out offer was, like right before, and I think because they jumped out to it was like 14-0 before I could blink, and they were like, "Hey, we'll offer you 800," and I was like, I know what you guys are trying to do. Cardinals, that was kind of pretty easy. I just thought Drake May on the road would have been a thing. That Knicks game was a sneaky game because the Magic still somehow play really well when they don't have their star players. But Big Purr, as Kev likes to call Cat, he showed out for him. But yeah, won a nice little chunk of change. Merry Christmas.
What could have been?
What could have been? Oh yeah, I did not. This ticket was sent in right. I shit you not, because I don't know if you have Red Zone, Shaun. So I'm in the car, and I hear Scott Hansen say, "Oh, there's no 1:05 1 p.m. games." I'm like, "There's no way." So I have time to get a ticket in another one because the previous ticket had the Commanders,
the Dolphins,
and the Dolphins. That was a ticket that me and Kev were riding together, and the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, love to turn the ball over the entire game. And then the Commanders, they just lost. Came down to the end. So it was, yeah.
Well, congratulations. It was a great hit, especially the ones that I love the most. And I've talked about how I had my 1 year escapade with heavy
Ron's
gambling.
Coming back next year.
I'll probably come back either once I get more money in my bank account, and it's tough doing that working in journalism. It'll either be that or it becoming legal in California, and then it'll be easier to cash it out and all that. And then, then everyone will be craving Bonnie's Hotline each week, so then they can have the hit. But my point of saying all that is that my favorite ones are when you wager like you did $12 and it's a 6, 7, 8 legger. But if you hit on it, it's gonna be big as far as the payoff. And so, congratulations. Yep. And so, congratulations to you. And so now, Kevin, as we pass things off to you to discuss the Eagles beating the Steelers 27-13, we have an appearance in the YouTube chat, and it's from someone who you mentioned at the top of the show, none other than Mr. Gary Singh, original member of Stats Over Politics, who had a lot to say. We'll just get through it, and then, Kevin, I'm going to toss it off to you, as Gary started off by saying, Eagles got lucky. We shut down Barkley. We just didn't tackle good and didn't capitalize on the turnovers.
It's called football.
We going to the bowl. Steelers getting the 7th bowl. And I'm screaming for the audio-only listeners. I am screaming because he wrote those in all caps. And there's 3 other comments as he says, I just love how the Niners suck.
I could drink to that.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Pennsylvania
uniting.
Right? What did he say fuck me for? As Pennsylvania unites to hate on the 49ers, and then Gary says, okay, I'm done. And he sent some laughing emojis. So all of that said, Kevin, what's your response to Gary, and what did you think overall about the Eagles' 14-point win against the Steelers?
Gary, if you guys were to be lucky enough to make it that far, it would be a long afternoon. As we've seen, Eagles haven't beat us in Philadelphia since 1956. So, it's been a while. So I know it wouldn't be a home game, but we travel. So I just don't think you guys got it in you. But,
Kev,
always next season.
You called me early in the week and said we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. He did say that. That's crazy. Alt line, money line. All lines.
I remember coming on here. I was laughed at. Shaun, you're muted.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that was perfect timing because the second that I clicked to put Drewski on the screen, you went like this in the background. It was absolute perfect timing, but go ahead.
I was called the fool when I said Eagle could have a top 5 offense and defense. I was called a homer. I was called Kevin. Toddy said, Kevin, you know what happened last year? 6 or 7 in a row? You think y'all just going to turn it around? And where do we fall today? Top 5 offense and defense. They say we couldn't throw. Jalen Hurts, 290.
I never said y'all couldn't throw.
25 for 32. And you know what? Gary said they stopped Saquon, but they must have forgot about Jalen Hurts and Kenneth Gainwell. We still ran the ball 43 times.
Yeah.
So
Gainwell had a good game.
Yeah, they stopped Saquon, but Saquon still finished with over 65 yards, I believe. I don't know to a dot. But A.J. Brown, we've dealt with this for the past 3 seasons. At some point, he's going to throw his hands up. He's going to flare out. He's going to be all upset. And Toddy sent me the video and said, Kevin, what do you think? And I told him, what did we think of A.J. Brown before he came to Philly? Nothing.
Don't do this right now.
Just a good young guy. No, just a good young guy doing his thing. I said, no, man, he was that dude. So, you know what? Toddy, let's look up PFF. Let's see what they had to say.
Oh, my God.
The year before Philly, 17th best receiver. Under guys like Hunter Renfrow. I was going through the list, and Toddy said they don't even play no more.
He's not on.
So he was down there. First year in Philly. Next offseason, they put out a PFF list. He's 5. It's 12 spots for the guy who can't throw. Jalen Hurts average. With Jalen Hurts, he has had career highs 1,400 each season. So ain't nothing wrong with the passing. I truly believe in my cards that we want the rushing title. We want to take that to the bank because we could throw it. And when we make it a point of notice, a point of concern to throw the ball, we can throw the ball. For our first play of the game, for a Calcaterra 25-yard bomb, I said it's over. It's getting ugly. We turned the ball over twice in our territory, and they couldn't score. This defense, I mentioned it week in and week out, is carrying us. We have the number 1 overall offense in yards allowed. We have the number 2 D. We're tied for second in points per game. Number 1 rush offense. Number 1 total defense. Number 1 pass defense. And the second best third down defense in the league. We're able to get teams off the field. You guys saw the Steelers 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That's all they can do. Toddy mentioned Jalen Carter. He is the best defensive tackle in football. I'm going to go out and say it. I know you got Kevin, Chris Jones. He has the respect.
That's my thing.
I understand that. But if we're sitting here in someone's second year only naming one guy to challenge him for the best, he's damn good. Jalen Carter's doing his thing. Quinyon Mitchell, week in and week out, is shutting down his side of the field. I believe he should get Defensive Rookie of the Year. The reason he may not is because numbers are sexy. Jared Verse, we talked about it before the show. He has about 4 or 5, I think, maybe 7, 8 sacks, maybe. So he has the numbers. He's a pass rusher, so he has that. So when you think of a corner and you think numbers, you think of interceptions. And no, I'm not comparing him to Travis Hunter, but when he said he don't got the stats, because they don't throw to his side. They don't throw to Quinyon's side. And the last thing I'm going to say is I would run through a brick wall for this team. I saw the Niners wear all black forces, black ski mask. They're running through our warm-ups. We're just getting chipped, doing nothing. Trent Williams is throwing our dudes to the ground. And Darnell Washington thought he was playing that team. He thought shit was sweet. So he's going to manhandle Slay. And Quinyon said, This team is rowdy. This is what we missed. And everyone's going to say I'm crazy, but Chauncey Gardner-Johnson brings that to this group. I don't think Quinyon Mitchell is really one of those guys, but he goes out there and he'll ride for his guys. And we're looking great right now. We're feeling great. The Lions lost, so now we need the Vikings to beat the Lions week 17, week 18. So then the road to the Super Bowl goes to Philly. And you guys know what happened last time the Super Bowl went through Philly. So
tough, brother.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't even want to recall the last time that the Super Bowl went through Philly because it was just nothing but pain.
We didn't win, so it was pain.
Yeah.
We just got a sweatsuit.
Yep, exactly. And so I just want to get to a couple of YouTube comments real quickly. As Uncle Manny says, we're still calling him that. Who's he referencing? Probably I can't think of who he may be referencing from about 5 minutes ago. But then Uncle Manny says, don't count out Vikings or Packers with the Lions injuries.
Uncle Manny, you saw what we did week 1 in Brazil on a soccer field. Imagine what we would do to them on an actual football field.
It was on a slip and slide, Kev.
Hey, man. We was playing on slip and slide. Give us the actual turf. Hey, man.
Yeah, and the last thing that I'll say just about the Eagles in this game and the thing that I enjoyed seeing the most is I do play Dynasty fantasy football, and a couple of core centerpieces that I have on my team is Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. And this season, I traded, and Toddy, you might say I'm crazy for this, but I traded T. Higgins for Devontae Smith straight up because I wanted to have that stack with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. And so I was happy to see that connection really get reignited this past weekend. I have been tanking. I've talked about this a couple times this season that I have been tanking in this Dynasty League because I want to get the first overall pick. I'm going to probably draft the should have been Heisman Trophy winner, Ashton Jeanty, which we will get to at the end of the show. But I was happy, just selfishly, I was happy to see Hurts and Smith have that connection again as we